A little while ago, I was thinking, I was sitting on my couch recording this new Zelda. I thought,
I should get that job.
no, I'm putting too much pressure on myself.
Pressure is bad, right? It squeezes us into tiny little boxes, and sometimes when we put it on ourselves, we are too stupid, lazy, and ugly to do anything about it. But sometimes, we put that pressure on ourselves, and our wildest dreams come true. So, how does this apply to video games? Basically, what I mean is, most times when a game presents a problem to you, it's meant to be solved in one way. But sometimes, the game will leave the solution up to you.
Tears of the Kingdom is a great example of both. Most of the shrines you visit are puzzles that are supposed to be solved with one answer. The boss fights are made with the intention that they'll be fought in one way. Now, let's look at how I'm supposed to approach this group of bokoblins. I have no idea how I was supposed to do it, but I don't really care because...
That was awesome.
When the pressure is on the player to come up with their own solution, you can get something really special. One of my favorite games that does this a lot is Noita.
Now, Noita is an evil-ass game.
Oh, fuck.
Which wonders? Mindless idiots, you couldn't even beat a motley group of no.
God damn it. The only thing the game tells you is how to move and shoot your wand. What the game doesn't tell you is that if you do either of these things, it doesn't really matter because you'll probably just die anyways. Motherfucker! Let's look at level 1 of the game. Baby's first Noita level, if you will. See that lantern? Now it's an inferno. This is Shotgun Man. This is Dynamite Man. This is a giant ball of highly lethal acid that bleeds that acid all over you. Don't inhale it. Definitely don't touch it. Fireball guy loves fire, hates you. This is a free wand. The only trade offer is your life. And worst of all, is yourself. Okay, so what happened there was I brought a taser into a swimming pool. I don't like this game because it's difficult, but instead because it presents you with a difficult challenge and asks you to solve it. These lanterns are a great way to get rid of wood blocking your path. These acid enemies run away when they're burning, and water beats fire. The most common way of solving problems in this game is through wand crafting. This is a core mechanic of the game that lets you make your own wands using a variety of spells you find throughout it. There are a lot of spells in this game, which means there are a lot of ways to kill yourself. Watch this shit. Magma! Ah! But there are also a lot of ways to become God. But here we go. Final boss coming right up. And that's how you do it. Noita presents problems and lets you deal with them in your own way, and I love it. But what makes solving these problems so fun is that the game didn't tell me how to do it. It pressured me to solve them on my own.
Most games do this to an extent. The difference lies in how creative you can get.
God of War. Most solutions in this game involve an axe to the central area, but maybe you want to use your fist this time. Most boss fights in Dark Souls involve rolling and then hitting, but you can either hit things like a champ or hit things like a pussy. There are multiple solutions in these games, but they don't make me scratch my head and wonder, what should I do here? Because I already know.
If we want to go bigger, this concept of pressuring the player is why fighting games can be so fun.
There are reasons people will spend years of their life in training mode trying to figure out the perfect solution to every single interaction you could have in every match. People do this because 1, we're crazy, and 2, because it's fun. It's fun to come up with your own solutions.
But while we're on the topic of fighting games, what happens when there's a bit too much pressure on the player. Sometimes fighting games are viewed as hard because you gotta learn special moves and combos are difficult to perform and all that stuff. Listen, I'm here to tell you right now, that is not why fighting games are frustrating. Fighting games are frustrating because Piccolo Vortex doesn't care about your feelings. Did you block that? Because I didn't.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
This right here. This is when pressuring the player can go too far. When someone gets put into a situation where they feel like they don't have any options, that is frustrating. If a player feels like that, the game has failed to clearly present the tools necessary to solve the problem at hand. Now, to be fair,
Sometimes people are just bad at video games. I know. I mean, it's crazy to me too, right? I mean, I'm not bad at video games. Are you bad at video games? Sometimes people are just incapable of solving problems on their own. Which is, at least in my opinion,
why a lot of modern AAA titles aimed at large audiences seem to lack this concept of pressure. Everything in Call of Duty ends and begins with shooting someone. A lot of games will stretch one kind of gameplay over hours where the only difference lies in what setting I'm doing it in.
this isn't engaging on the player's end. It's the opposite.
But, Other Brian, isn't that kind of the point, right? I mean, aren't video games supposed to be relaxing? Try telling the oil rig worker after his weekend of work that he needs more pressure in his life. But why can't you just let people enjoy things?
That is the antithesis to this point. I mean, yeah, not everyone wants to feel pressure when they're playing a video game, and I get it.
Doom Eternal was great and everything, but I can't lie, there was a certain amount of bliss strolling through Doom 2016 with nothing but a shotgun and a can of Coke. So, maybe less pressure is fine. But when I'm old, and my skin looks like a box of sun-made raisins, I may forget Doom 2016. But, I will never forget pulling up to a Hinox, my horse, Mr. Fluffy Muttons, and a fully charged death cannon. Thanks for watching.